Hey guys, Tbull here. Today we got a game in the Seattle for you. Norm Scott. We got Makawa. It's a concealment aspect and Vian. Incoming dispersion. And in slot 3 with Norm Scott, we got a perk that tells you if you're being targeted. Always good, but it also increases the incoming dispersion. So it's kind of a quadruple dispersion build. You got your camo. If you put a camo on your ship, and you want to do that by making permanent camos. Um, Feel free to ask in the comments if you don't know how to do that, and hopefully someone will explain it. But permanent camos or any camo will increase the dispersion, right? Make the enemy's accuracy worse. Norm Scott, slot 3. Vian, the inspiration, British destroyer commander. Incoming dispersion. Oh, and by the way, slot 3, any tier 6 ship and above, we basically will put concealment mod on that. Always, number 1, reduces the detection. Hey, that's good. But increases the incoming dispersion. So we're really kind of trying to mess with the shots with the build here. So that's kind of the idea with that. It's an old build, but it does still check out. Haven't really gone back and revised it lately, but it's a classic U.S. light cruiser build. All right, so Seattle's the name of the game here, and we got capture the base mode game in one of the newer maps with a bunch of islands, whatever it's called. And here we go. We spawn on the east. We play the east. Where's the spotting? We got one destroyer per side. Our guy's chilling in the middle. So we're probably not going to get a lot of reliable spotting from him, at least not early. So we're just going to kind of post up here. Now what I do want to kind of focus on to some extent this game is the positioning in terms of the detection. All right. And what that means is when we are either able to be spotted because they have someone in our blue ring, well, that's always someone within the blue ring with a line of sight. That's always the rule. The blue ring moves around though. If we pull the trigger for 2 seconds, it'll expand out like we did there. And because we're spotted, it does not contract. All right. If there's nobody to spot us with a direct line of sight, we fire. It expands for 2 seconds, then it comes back. But look at that. Middle of the ship passes the edge of the island there. Our middle of the ship, and we drop spot. So I'm going to tell you how Wargaming explains how the vision works, and I think this is how I taught it when I made the beginner series 4 years ago, give or take, which basically they say the highest armored point of the ship, i.e. non-cosmetic part of the ship, they say towards the center. Now, in my mind, the vision point is 100% in the center of the ship. I might be wrong in that. I'm not going to swear on anyone's life, at least not someone that I care about. But when I play the game, and when I'm playing the game, especially in these type of ships, I'm paying very close attention to when I'm getting spotted, when I'm not, because that's a huge part of these light cruisers, right? We want to be shooting potential damage out into the universe, and if we do that while not being spotted, then we're trading unevenly, and that's how we're going to have success with these things. So, in my mind, how it's conceived is exactly in the middle of the ship, and I think you can raise the height of that point up to the highest level of the armored ship. Where that may or may not be true is there's also a little bit of a delay from when the line of sight is broken to when you disappear, so it's possible maybe that that commander's tower or whatever the hell where all the high-ranking dudes are chilling on the ship. Maybe because it takes a couple seconds to move behind the island and then drop off. Maybe that's affecting it. I'm going to concede that that's possible. But in my mind, I do believe 100% that it is exactly in the middle of the ship. The minute that breaks by the line of sight, then you drop spot. Again, that'll be affected by the height. If there's lower cover, I think that it acknowledges the height aspect of it as well. But I do believe that it is in the middle of the ship. There's one detection point per ship. That's basically what it is. All right. In my mind, it's directly in the center. The way that Wargaming wrote the rules for the PC version, and it's probably basically usually they use the same the rule book for both games. But I don't know. I'm just telling you how it feels to me. Regardless, what you want to be doing is keeping an eye on, okay, when am I getting spotted, when am I not? Okay, we break the line of sight by moving either the direct center of the ship or just slightly in front of it, the highest point of the ship behind the cover. Then we drop spot. Then we shoot until we're spotted. Then we move again. All right, and we're using these islands. We'll keep bouncing off them. Don't feel embarrassed about hitting the islands or anything like this. It's actually a quicker way to start and stop. You can hit the island with the engine fully engaged. You'll come to a complete stop, and then you can back up, or vice versa. Much quicker action than gradually letting the ship drift to a complete stop. So, in my mind, all we're doing here is we're trying to control the line of sight. We're trying to pump out some damage. Now, down a full battleship here. We got 2 killed on our side. They did lose 1 there. Evaluating the game, this is kind of one of those bizarre situations where they actually outnumber us on both flanks, if you can imagine that. They got a 3v2 on the west, and they got a 4v2.5, 3 over here. We got 2 battleships that are kind of chilling in the middle. I'm assuming they can probably shoot the guys to the southwest of them, but very rarely. I mean, usually how the game works out is one side will have a numerical advantage for blue, one side, and we'll have a numerical advantage for red. Whichever team resolves that situation quick enough, or quicker, you killing everything, capturing the base, or whatever you're trying to do over there. Whoever does that quicker usually can then reposition and attack the strong side of the opposing team. So, it usually comes down to who's sitting around, who's got the most ships, just chilling in the back, watching, not really doing much. Here, we got very passive play on both sides. Now, one of our functions here as a light cruiser is we're trying to put the fear of God in these guys by spamming them. We want to hit them with golden showers. They're going to say to themselves, my God, I didn't pack for this. We got to go home and change. All right, so they're not going to want to push forward in anything like that. That's a sticky situation under the best of circumstances. And we're just trying to pump up the damage and, cause them fear and consternation, whatever else we can do. The problem we're experiencing here is the red battleship positioning. All right, now we fire up the radar there trying to spot the destroyer. We got a Friedrich der Grobe here. We also got the main or whatever is way in the back, and then the dude almost directly to the east of us who's pushing north. All right, now we got a battleship 3 squares north of him, but he's increasing the distance. Battleships become more and more dangerous the closer you are. But because our battleship is kind of kiting off and increasing the distance, that allows the red battleship to move forward. Of course, the destroyer that is up there most likely spotting us. Well, not at the moment. We're not getting spotted, but we suspect there's a destroyer somewhere in the east of the map here. He can move forward as well, so kind of a dangerous situation here, and it's just because we don't have a lot of pressure, right? We got 2 battleships next to me. They're stacked there. Can they shoot? Probably not. This dude, Awami's moving in. He's got a broadside battleship to the north of him. He's got a kiting Megami, I believe. So, I mean, those guys aren't really stopping his forward progress. And one of the keys to these American light cruisers, playing against them and playing as them, is you can't really defend yourself from a rush from a strong ship, right? If they screw it up, they come around broadside, maybe we can smash them if they're in like a Megami or something where we can blow up the Citadel. But like if this Awami right here, instead of going inexplicably to the east, if he kind of was heading towards me, I would be dead right now, right? And he's going to try and kill me here because we're smashing him with all these shells. He's getting pissed off, and he's going to start returning fire, which is good. And you want to kill the guys that are dealing the most damage. Battleships parked in the moon, firing every 30 seconds, don't deal nearly as much damage as cruisers who fire every 5 seconds and do more raw damage anyway. So cruisers are definitely going to want to tend to target there. But once again, we're going to try and drop the spot here. We got the destroyer in the smoke. But the problem is, who's spotting us, right? We want to stop getting spotted here. Is it the Awami? I think he can probably still see us, right? We're talking about the height of the middle of the ship. We'll see when he kills him there. No, it wasn't him. In fact, we got continued to be spotted here. You can see on the map to the south, now that red ship's moved forward, he's a likely candidate as well. I don't think that the smoke fire penalty will be coming into play with this guy here, so I don't think the destroyer is going to be spotting us. It's probably that dude to the southwest of us. I don't think he was necessarily the one spotting me a moment ago, though. I think it was the Awami, and I think he handed off the spotting to this Friedrich. All right, so there's a problem here. We got another battleship who's, they're all in this position. And as a light cruiser, where we want to be, in full control of our own mobility, and any ship in general, we don't want to be near these dudes. We don't play will to rebuild, certainly, so there's no reason to be near anyone. So we're just going to try and increase the distance there and keeping an eye on the spot. We were briefly drop spot there again, and now we're spotted again. Looking on the map, we got Nothing in the orange circle that we knew about except for now the Northern Dragon. So when we considered who could spot us, none of the surface ships that were known were likely to do that. And with this build, we're not going to be probably outspotted by cruisers very often. So once we figured out, okay, Northern Dragon seems to be the guy, that means he's probably within the range of the radar. We'll go ahead and fire that up, and then the team doing a good job here. We're getting some hits here and there. He's doing a good job playing with his throttle knob, jerking it up and down vigorously, throwing off our aim a little bit, but the teammates doing a good job. Hoping to kill him there. Going for some style points, trying to move on to the next target. But teammates finish him off. Excellent. All right, so we're winning the side now. All of a sudden, they went from like 4 ships to versus 2 or 3 to now we've killed a couple of them. And, our dudes are starting to turn back around and come back towards the part of the base here. So the east is looking pretty good. But the west, a major problem. We got ships pushing into the base here. 2 cruisers. No battleship, Amagi. That's going to be a problem here. We don't want to get anywhere near him. And we got the Riga, another hard-hitting slugger. All right, so Amagi here. We're going to try and slam on the brakes here in a moment. Right there we do. Trying to keep the middle of the ship behind this little lip here again, but we're going too fast. We're squirting too far forward, and we'll see when we get spotted. He's around the range here and middle of the ship. All right. Again, that looks like the middle to me. You can say, well, the top part of that mast, it took a couple seconds to become visible due to the spotting timing. Certainly possible. All right, but functionally, it doesn't really matter. I don't really play this game. I know how to play the game better than a lot of players, certainly. But I don't never feel the need to memorize every single tiny rule, because whether it's the center of the ship or that tower, functionally, the 2 or 3 times we've looked at it so far this game, it hasn't made any single difference. And trust me, I pay very close attention to it all the time, and I can't tell for sure which one it is. So feel free to let us know in the comments if you know for sure, but take it from me, it doesn't really matter either way as long as you understand the gist of it. Another thing we don't understand clearly, aiming. Magami, he's a broadside dude, and we can't hit him with these point-blank shots with the AP. Finally connect there, but we did miss a fairly easy shot there. It looks like we didn't account for him going as quick as we did. And what are we getting spotted by here now? Well, probably that battleship to the west of us who's shooting. That's a problem here. We're turning in here hard. Riga, is he paying attention? Yes, the guns are pointing right at us, and he can smash us. We could smash him too if he stays broadside, certainly, but I don't want to get into a slugfest with that thing. It's nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Oh, well, luckily there, he looks like he overpenned us a bunch. We didn't overpen him. And once again, let's pay attention to when the spotting drops. Okay, we're desperately trying to get the middle of the ship behind here. There goes the tower behind the thing. 1, 2, 3. I don't know. You do the timing. As soon as the middle of that ship crossed the line, boom, it dropped immediately. So my money's on the middle of the ship. You want to do the tower? Be my guest. Okay, if it's the tower, then we're seeing the little bit of spotting delay from when the status changes, right? Another example of what I'm talking about with spotting delay. If you pop a smoke, you're still going to be visible for 2 seconds until that line of sight remains broken, right? Basically, then your detection ring will contract greatly due to the smoke providing concealment. But anytime the detection rings are contracting or expanding, they stay expanded for basically 2 seconds until they're fully reset. So I'm going to go ahead here, shoot the Megami. And one of the keys of these things here is utilizing the spotting like this. You saw there we shot just the back guns. If you've been paying close attention throughout the game, a lot of times half of our salvos are blocked. And there we go, middle of the ship once again blocked there. There was a little bit of a delay there, so you can make a case for either of them on that one. I still think it's the middle of the ship. I think the height is the height, but I think the spotting point is the middle of the ship. But we're fine right now. Okay, we're whiffing half these shots, or we would be if we were slightly less angled. We'd just be shooting the island. That's fine. We're protected, right? We're pumping out potential damage into the universe. We're not taking return damage in return. That's the key to that, and it all comes down to the spotting aspect. So that's a look at light cruiser play for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. Lots of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave them below. Love to hear from you guys, and we'll see you later. All right, peace.